it feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, how you going? Good afternoon. Well, good afternoon down here. Good evening for you guys. Late at night now. We're getting into the overnight hours. It's great to see you all. How are you today? Hope you guys can all hear me clearly at least. Let me get set up a little bit. How you been out there? I see someone saying it's going to be near 80. Hey, Marilyn. It's going to be 80 over the weekend. You guys are definitely heading into summer. I feel like as we head into summer, as you guys head into summer, we're heading into the depths of the ice winter down here, especially where I live. We get like these winds that come up from the south, like the polar winds that come over the south of Australia, and they get crazy cold. It gets very icy. We get snow in the mountains. I think a lot of people don't realize it snows in Australia, but in where I live, it snows in the mountains throughout the winter. So we get like snow-capped mountains. I've never seen them, but apparently they do. Over to 80 today. Some people are already getting over 80. SPO said, unfortunately, in Montana, we're going to have snow again in, what is it, May? You're getting snow? I thought your snow would already be done for the year. Do you guys get snow 12 months out of the year? That's crazy. Good to see you all. Now, my friend Laurie sent me this this story about Brittany Gamble in Houston. Now, we love to do stories out of Texas and Houston in particular, and often we've covered so many over the years, and this one just doesn't seem something not right here. There's something not going okay in this particular one. Now, this is a lady called Brittany Gamble from Houston, and there's just some weird coincidences or strange things that need to be looked into a little further. Now, they're saying last year on November 20, she was reported as a missing person, that she was discharged from a hospital but wasn't seen again. Family members said it was highly unusual for Gamble to go without contact, especially given her medical conditions and cognitive vulnerabilities. So she was a type 1 diabetic. She also had some mental health issues, and she also suffered from epilepsy. So she had quite the triangle of problems, unfortunately, this poor lady. And the weird thing is, in this one, I don't think you expect a missing person to be found inside of their own apartment. That's what happened here. 7 days later, after she was reported missing on November 27, Brittany Gamble was found deceased inside a Houston apartment. Harris County Medical Examiner's Office notified the family the following day that an autopsy was underway. Days later, relatives say they discovered multiple Facebook Live videos allegedly posted by the man who was with her before her death. According to the family, the video showed Gamble appearing disorientated and unwell during live streams recorded on November 19 and 20. So the day that she was reported missing, there's these live streams where she apparently looks very unwell. Families believe that Gamble died on the evening of November 21, citing one video in which a man can allegedly be heard yelling at her to breathe while she gasped in the background. Family members claim additional live streams continued for several days after Gamble's death, allegedly showing her body inside the apartment. They allege the videos include disturbing behavior involving her remains and say the content was publicly accessible online. The Harris County Medical Examiner later ruled Gamble's death as undetermined. Okay, undetermined. Relatives have publicly criticized both law enforcement and the medical system, claiming authorities failed to act quickly enough and did not subpoena the videos from Meta until January 2026, more than a month after the family said they had already viewed the footage for themselves. The family also expressed frustration with the pace of the investigation, saying they were told by investigators that there was insufficient evidence to pursue stronger criminal charges against that person. The family says that same man has a violent history. They allege prior charges involving murder and abuse of a corpse. So this person who was last seen with Brittany Gamble, there's some photos of you for you here of her, including this beautiful urn. Look at that beautiful urn with her name on it. And November 27th, when she was found in the apartment. I mean, this guy already has a background. You already have someone that's got murder on their rap sheet, already has something like, what was the other one? It's something to do with like disturbing a body, abuse of a corpse. And then he's tied to another woman who has died. I don't know. I don't, in life, you don't tend to get a free chance at murder. And then even then, you don't get to have another one. You don't get to have two. I'm concerned, and I'm with the family on this. How come they're just like, oh, we don't have enough evidence, but they got these live streams, and they're like showing him with her body in the apartment. I know it's hard to tell if someone's dead in a video, so maybe that's difficult to ascertain. But you also know when people are not alive. Hey, Missy, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Hey, Montana, good to have you guys. Yes, I am sorry about last night. I was actually helping my neighbor pull down a balcony, and he's like, "This is only going to take 1 hour," and I'm like, "Yeah, I can give you an hour." And then we got into it, and it took 4.5 hours, and it just never stopped. It's like you take one piece down, there's 20 other things to do, and so we ended up doing that until we lost light in the evening, and ended up just working all afternoon with him to try to get it done. So that's why I wasn't here yesterday. So I'm sorry about that. I like to help my neighbors when I can. Hey Kelly J, good to see you. So where do we go from here? Well, I want to show you a video from Click to Houston. They have one on her. I'm just trying to. I don't want to put you on a white background because some people are in like a dark room. And yeah, we'll go here. We'll go to the YouTube one. Yeah, check this out.
A family is sharing a disturbing story months after a missing woman's body was found in an unknown man's apartment. Houston police say that 34-year-old Brittany Gamble was found dead inside of that apartment back in November, and her family was told the case was closed. But then as of today, KPRC2 News reporter Corley Peel has learned that the case is back open. Now, Corley joins us live with why police are looking back into this case. Corley.
Stephanie, I reached out to HPD around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and they told me that this case was closed because they went after every single lead and found that there was no crime in this case. But just before 5 o'clock this afternoon, they called me back and said that this case is open and they are looking into more information and evidence. Now, the family says this has been frustrating because there are plenty of disturbing videos out there showing Brittany Gamble before and after her death that this man allegedly documented. 666 is the number on the building. Inside, even more disturbing, it's where police say 34-year-old Brittany Gamble's body was found inside an unknown man's apartment.
Just so disturbing, and it's a nightmare.
Gamble's sister, Rebecca Falke, says Gamble was admitted to St. Joseph's Hospital downtown for altered mental status on November 17th. She suffered from type 1 diabetes and epilepsy. Falke says Gamble was released from the hospital without loved ones knowing. The family reported her missing, but roughly 10 days later, they learned the medical examiner had Gamble's body. Gamble's family learned details from news articles.
They suspected that she had possibly been dead for multiple days prior to the discovery of her body.
Trying to figure out how Gamble made it to the man's apartment, family members searched Metro on Facebook, finding their biggest clue.
And it just so happened to be that when she landed on the Facebook page, this man had Facebook Live Brittany. at the metro station.
Falke says this video was after Gamble left the hospital. Falke says this was the last video of Gamble alive. Other videos on the man's page appear to show Gamble post-mortem.
What was he doing near her corpse?
We watched like a 4-hour video of where he is literally laying beside her body on this air mattress, sleeping beside my sister's deceased body.
Falke noticed a ball of her sister's hair was placed near a Bible. She says the man eventually called 911 and her body was removed.
So there's a 4-hour live stream somewhere online of this guy sleeping next to her on an inflatable mattress. I mean, was he so distraught that she had died that he didn't want to give up her body? Like, I've heard people doing that before, but it's not normally this type of situation. It's normally like a mum loses a child or something like that. Not in this particular scenario. It's normally like, like a mum loses a child or a child loses a mum or something, and they don't want to, they don't want the coroner to come so quickly because they don't want to give her to them. I've heard that type of thing, but I've never heard of this type of thing where this guy is not only doing that, but producing a live stream at the same time. I had a quick look for them, but I don't know this guy's name. I've been looking for it and I can't quite figure it out. They're keeping it very quiet, and I'd like to find it because I wonder if we could. I don't want to show her deceased on live stream. I don't want to do that, but I would like to just see what these videos are prior to her death. And the fact that, we listened in that news report, they were saying they called the HCSO and they're like, what about this case? What's going on? They're like, oh, it's closed. And somehow they get called back a few hours later and they're like, oh, no, wait. It's actually open. We're investigating it again. How does that work? Was that public pressure? Was that because the news found out about it? And then once the news came sniffing, they're like, well, we better actually have a look at that and actually look at the evidence or something. I've never heard of a case going open to closed in the space of an afternoon with no new evidence. Jesse said, I know of a situation where someone had been caring for their husband with cancer at home and delayed calling. Yes, that's the type of situation I was trying to refer to. I've seen that too, and I don't think that's creepy. I think that's almost like a for love. It's almost like, you don't want to give them away. They're not coming back, and you want those last few moments with them. That I get. This where there's some issue here between the both of them. He's making these live streams for 48 hours prior to death, and then even after her death. Why would you even put that online? Why would you even have a camera rolling? I don't get that. It's bizarre, really bizarre. Jesse said 13 has always been one of my favorite numbers. But wasn't he a stranger? Family demands answers after woman's body found in stranger's apartment. Did they know each other, maybe? Sometimes people have friends maybe the family doesn't know about. They're saying here, Houston police say 34-year-old Brittany Gamble died inside the apartment in November. The family was told last month that their case was closed and no crime was found. But just before 5 p.m. on Thursday, HPD confirmed, it's not HCSO, it's HPD, sorry, confirmed to KPRC2 that the investigation is open and that detectives are reviewing information and evidence. Okay. Coley spoke with Gamble's sister, Rebecca, that's the lady on the video, who says disturbing videos allegedly documented by the man before and after Gamble's death raised serious questions about what happened. I wonder about this too. I don't know who this guy is in the photo. I don't know if that's like her dad or something. I'm not sure if that's her father. But that's her. And there's a poem they did for her. Let me just double check my other source about whether his name is known. So it was the Harris County. So it was HCSO who originally got called out, but it looks like it's HPD who are actually doing the investigation into it. Let's have a look. Relatives say Gamble encountered a man who would later become the last known person to see her alive. That same night. So when she got discharged from St. Joseph's Medical Center in Houston on November 17, she was there between November 17 and discharged on November 19, for altered mental state. They're suggesting that she left on her own accord and then ran into this guy, like after she had left the hospital, and then somehow ended up at his apartment. I don't know what to do with that information. I don't know what we take from that. Woman still said he could have been waiting for a vulnerable person to prey on. Do you think he drugged her up? Like, because the whole thing where they say you have to breathe. Yeah, maybe she didn't have her medication. Maybe she didn't have her diabetic medication. That could be correct. You guys might be right. Danny says he's a creeper. I think anyone who removes someone from the street and has them in their apartment, that person dies in their apartment and they're doing live streams with the body. I think, yes, they are definitely under that creeper banner. I would love to know this guy's name. So I did have a look for this before we went live, and I could not see who this guy is that they're talking about. Let's have a look, Brittany. I'll try one more time and see if we can pick up that name. Let's try here. Yeah, let's see if we get a name. Okay, no. The man who was staying with Brittany Gamble, that's a weird way of putting it, has not been publicly named or identified by law enforcement, nor has he been arrested or charged officially in connection with her death. I'd like to know more about this guy, why he seems to already have a murder charge on his record. They're saying here local community groups and court records reference a prior conviction in 2015 for tampering with a human corpse. Seems like he did the same thing here. His identity remains withheld from public disclosure while the homicide investigation is active. So they're saying they're not willing to give it out until they complete their investigation into Brittany Gamble's death. Very, very odd. I wonder if we can have a look. Yeah, I can't see it. So obviously it's been kept very quiet. We have a PDF file, not the one that does things with children, the one that has information. What are they saying here? Investigation into deceased female at 666 Maxi Road. Couldn't we just look up who lives at 666 Maxi Road? Let's have a look. Maxi Road. Yep. Yeah, okay. It has multiple addresses within the apartment complex, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't see anything. That's a shame. They're saying here, yeah, deceased individual is identified as Brittany Gamble. This was back in December 1, 2025. They said Houston police are awaiting autopsy results in the death of the female found at 666 Maxi Road about 5:15 p.m. on Thursday, November 27. Officers responded to the report of a deceased female at the apartment at the above address. Don't give us the apartment number or anything. Upon arrival, they spoke with a male who stated the female had been staying with him since he met her on November 19. So he literally picked her up off the street. Responding Houston Fire Department paramedics pronounced her deceased at the scene. Officers observed the female to have an abrasion on her face and bruising to her upper body. Upon further investigation, officers learned Miss Gamble had been reported as a missing person on November 20. According to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office, who responded to the apartment, it was believed she had been deceased for about 3 days. So this guy hanging around with her dead body in his apartment for 3 days. I don't know. Do you guys want to do that? Do you guys want to hang around with a dead body for 3 days? Hey, Joe, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Maybe he's evil because he lives at 666. I thought they didn't list things with that type of number for that reason. Jesse said Spokio might list people who have lived at the residence with a bit of effort. It could be cross-referenced with court records. We should have a look. Jesse says, hell no. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be staying with a body for 3 days. Very odd. Very, very strange. What a strange guy. But I'm glad the family are sort of getting up in arms. They really want to keep it going. I hear that they are asking the detectives to press charges. They're saying if you've got the evidence, hurry up and press these charges against this guy, because you don't know what he's going to do after that, or where he's going to go, or who's going to talk to. He could leave the area. Let's have a look. Well, that might be a clue. I might have a clue. So this is the court record right here. Can we track this down? This is his conviction. Court Houston TX101255J. TX. 101255J. 101255J. Nah, I don't think that's going to give us what we want. Any other numbers on this thing that we can look at? Cause number. That's not what we want. Tampering and tampering/fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair human corpse. They don't give us the case number, unfortunately. We have the cause number, which I don't know what that is. 147294. 147294. 147294801001. Let's have a look. That one doesn't bring up anything either. Hold on. One. Did I type that in right? 1472. 14729 1472948 948 01010 01010. That didn't bring up anything either. Texas, Houston. No hit on that either. But obviously the name is going around and people have it. SP Mom said he'll be charged eventually. It's a matter of time. Hey, ahoy! Good to see you. They say you're my favorite morning show. High five to you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. It's very kind of you. Thank you. I'm glad to be your favorite morning show. Jesse said, I've been to one open casket funeral and wanted out as fast as I could. Can't imagine just chilling with a body. Not for like 10 minutes, for 3 days. That's not like being at an open casket funeral where you have to walk past the casket, pay your respects. This is like just getting up for 3 separate mornings and being like eating your breakfast and you're like, oh, that dead body is still here. That's very different. And it's highly offensive to to the victim. So after 3 days, that body's already in a pretty poor state of decomposition. You're denying her family an open casket funeral with that, because when you start degrading in that way, especially in Houston, I know it's November, so it's a bit colder, but not by much, because again, it's still Houston. It's very humid. You're really asking, you're taking that away from the family, that they're not going to be able to say their final goodbyes, and that's offensive. It's really offensive to the family. Kelly said, so Mexican culture, they bring the body home for like 24 to 48 hours before burial. Do they get prepared though? Like, do they prepare the body so it doesn't like really start decomposing heavily? I wonder if they do. Like, they sort of take it through that mortuary process and then allow the family to have it, which stops all that decomp. Kelly said, my niece's family just did it. I thought it was so freaky. They had their son there for 2 days in a casket. I guess some traditions are different to the ones we do. Kelly said, but they still tell you not to let the body get hot. You don't want any dead bodies getting hot. Let me just check. I wonder if anyone's commenting his name. So let me have a look at something. People are talking about a guy called Dennis Greer. Is that the guy that we're looking at? Hold on. Sorry, I know you guys can't see, but just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, people are saying that he's been posting under an account called Dennis Greer. Let me try and find it. In Houston. Let me see. How many Dennis Greers do we have? Is this the guy? Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. I just want to see if we can track this guy down. That'd be good. Look, I don't know. I'm not sure. There's a couple of guys called Dennis Greer on Facebook posting weird shit. There's one guy that just rambles for like hours on Facebook and stuff. That one's in Virginia. We want Houston. Lives in Houston, Texas. Okay. Reels. I hope this is not the one. Okay, guys, I'll take you over. So there's this guy. I'm not saying it's him. But there's a lot of messed up stuff on his reels and stuff. I don't know if this is a guy. The people giving descriptions are not giving great descriptions of this fella. But he does post a lot of live streams, right? Let's go back. Let's see if there's anything with Brittany Greer in it. Brittany Gamble, not Greer. Let's have a look. Let's go back. Is that an air mattress? No, that's not an air mattress.
Punda. I don't know why I thought I'd be able to deal with this stuff.
This guy put a lot of random crazy stuff on his live. If I find anything with Brittany in here, I'll let you know.
Downtown.
That's what I want.
Might not work, but
No, that's a trash pile.
Man,
I can't find anything, but that's the guy that they're saying that is under that name. But I can't see anything on, at least on this profile. Hey Melly, how are you? Good to see you again. If I track him down, I'll let you know. But I can't really see anything. Yeah, I'm gonna go back out of this one last time and see if I can find anything with Brittany in it. Because I think we'd all like to just not see her dead, but I just want to see the one where she's alive. Hmm. I don't know, but this guy posts a hell of a lot of like live reels, a ton of them. And he's the only one I can see that's from Houston. I'll just check these things one more time. Okay, I think it is that guy. I just can't find the video that we're supposed to be looking for. Okay, 1980. Suspect arrested, charged in the death of a female at 8500 Tate Street, December 9th, 2013. Charges have been filed against the suspect arrested in the death of a female found at 8500 Tate Street about 2:30 p.m. on July 8th. And they're saying that this is the same guy. They're saying here, the victim, Joniqua Brewster, 22, suffered a gunshot wound to the head and was pronounced dead at the scene. This is also from HPD, Houston PD, back about 13 years ago. So this may have got settled. So they said it got settled in 2015. So it may have taken a couple of years for it to go through court and then be convicted. So, but that's what people are saying. That it's this guy, and they said he had been done in the death of another person previously. We'll have to wait and see if they end up arresting this guy or this is some way connected. Gayla said, if you can see a date, look for the bus stop. They said on April 1st he had been posting about her. So let me go back to his profile and have a look about posts. They said April 1st. Let's have a look. That's May. God, he posts a lot, this guy. Like just on one day on May 2nd, he posted about 40 times. I'm going to have to go far back into his history. He posts like every hour, like more and more stuff. Let's go back. I'm going to have to go back a long way. I don't know if that's what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to flood his feed so you can't find anything. That might be true. God, we're only on May 1st. Here, I'm going to show you guys. Look at this. I'm scrolling. Just flying through posts here. May 1st. We're still on freaking May 1st. What are we on now? May 1st. Like, this dude just posts like every minute of the day. April 30. What do we want? April 1. That's what people are saying that he made it. And now we're frozen out. Oh no, here we go. It's going to take me 45 minutes just to scroll through a month's worth of this dude's posts. All right, what date are we on? April 30 still. Oh my God, this guy. You ever seen someone post so many lives on Facebook? It's brutal. How often is he posting? 537, 5. It's like multiple ones. April 29th. It's going to take us literally like 4 hours to do this. Let's see. I don't see anything. Yeah, this is just going to take me hours, guys. I'm not going to do that with you guys on the stream. But if I find it, I'll let you know. But that's what people are saying, that it's him. that he's the one involved. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's what the local people are saying. Missy said, Greer, popular name there. I dated one in that area. Yeah. Look, if I find it, I'll let you know. But freaking hell, that's a ton of posts. How do you post so often? Is it just spam? Is it someone just spamming for like no reason? Yeah, all right. We're just gonna have to leave it. I'll research it for you and I'll give you an update another night. I don't want to keep you on the air just scrolling through a Facebook. But I'll tell you what she says here. The family says, my sister, she is not a case number. She is a daughter, a sister, an aunt, and a friend. She will and always will be deeply loved. HPD saying their investigation, now reopened, is ongoing. And it's still so no one has been charged with anything at this point in time. And according to some local people who are covering this case, they're not expecting any charges anytime soon. We will have to we'll have to see what the HPD is going to do. Look, I hope for the family's sake that they actually figure this out, because it's a very sad case. This woman dying in a random apartment after getting out of hospital for being there for mental health issues. Somehow this guy coaxes her off the street into his apartment, and then there's these weird live streams of him telling her to breathe, and then him laying with her body for 3 days. Yeah, I'm going to take you back to finish off our video from Click to Houston very quickly.
What did the autopsy reveal?
It was undetermined.
The man was never arrested. Police told the family last month the case was closed. No crime was found. Disappointed, Falke posted concerns on social media. As of today, HPD says the case is open and ongoing.
I feel
Is that the guy? Is that the guy that we just saw? Look. I know it's blurred. You're like, is that the blurry guy? No, but there's a bit where there. I know you can't see his face in this one, but that looks awfully like that guy with the spammy posts that we were just looking at on Facebook. Very similar style of shooting as well with the phone. If that's him, then it seems like that is most likely the guy we just showed you with the 2013 murder charge. Warner still said all the name. It's Greer. So that is what people are saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's what people are saying in the comments. That is his name. Let me give you the whole thing. And what do you want? The address? Dennis Greer. I mean, you can see it on this page right here. There you go. I'm not saying he's connected. I'm saying that's what the community is saying. So don't be like, Ping said it's definitely him. I didn't. What else do you want? The address. I'll give it to you in the chat. It's Houston. So here, I'll put it in. This is the apartment where she died. They didn't give us the number of the apartment, just the address. So there it is. Listen to the voice. Okay, hold on. They didn't really give us a chance at the voice. Jesse said, I sent you an email. All right, let me have a look. What did you find, Jess? All right, thank you. Let's have a look. What is this? Okay. I'll share it with you guys. Let's have a look. What is this? Dennis W. Greer Jr. is presently in custody. What year was this? Does it give us a year? July 14, 2022. Well, he ain't in jail now. He's presently in custody at Harris County Jail in Houston. He has filed a handwritten petition for expunction of records associated with an arrest and prosecution for theft in state court. He has also filed an application to proceed in district court without prepaying fees or costs, docket entry number 2, which will be granted because Greer is a prisoner who has not paid the filing fee. The court is required to scrutinize the pleadings and dismiss the action in whole or in part if it determines that the submission is frivolous, malicious, or fails to state a claim upon which relief may be granted, or seeks monetary relief from a defendant who is immune from such relief. Greer reports that he was arrested on December 2020 by deputies employed by Harris County Sheriff's Department. He was charged in Harris County with committing a theft offense. So this was him trying to get the records. Otherwise, show that the expunction is an available remedy. So he's trying to use the legal system to move a couple of things. Interesting. This guy's got like a really just a long history with the law. I think that other one's more impressive, to be honest. That one we found from 2013. I mean, how is this the second woman you might be associated with that have been near you that have wound up dead? How does this happen twice to you in your life? That somehow you're near a murder victim or a dead woman. So Jesse said, seems like a real winner. Wow. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see what else we can find about him. There seems like there was another guy with the same name, but in Virginia, but he was a white guy and he died in 2018. So there was a guy with the exact same name, Dennis Wayne Greer Jr., and he died back in 2018. Don't think it's the same guy. Let's see. Here, let's look here. Yeah, here we go. Back ages ago, back in 2013, I don't know if we'll get a video out of it, but Houston, Click to Houston did actually run a story on it. Man arrested charged in the death of a woman found in a ditch. Police have charged a man with murder in connection with the death of a woman who was found in a ditch 5 months ago. There you go. Joniqua Brewster was found partially covered with what appeared to be a comforter and a towel in the 8500 block of Tate Street about 2:30 p.m. on July 8. Police said she had a gunshot wound to her head and was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators identified Dennis Wayne Greer as a suspect and he was charged with murder on December 6. He was already being held in Harris County Jail on unrelated charges.
A KHOU 11 exclusive. Our cameras were there as postal inspectors.
Shush. This guy has just got the craziest history. He's got like I don't know if he spent more time in jail or out of jail. It sounds like he may have spent more time in actual jail than on the outside throughout his life. How sad for Brittany and her family that she just so happened to run into this guy after getting out of hospital. Really, really sad. All right, one last bit of this video and then we're done with that.
Media. As of today, HPD says the case is open and ongoing.
I feel like getting her story out there and making sure that this never happens to other people, that's our biggest goal.
And again, Houston police have not identified that man as a suspect at this time, but this case is ongoing now, and they're asking if people have information to come forward. We, of course, will continue asking questions, and we will keep you updated. Reporting live, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
There we go. Thank you, Laurie, for bringing me that story. I hope we get a better update soon. You know, the fact that his original charge took many months. How many did they say? I don't think it says, but he was eventually charged in December. So it was a long time for that one as well. It took many months. When did they find her? On July 8th. in 2013, right? They didn't charge him till December. So, like, over half a year later. That may be what happens here with Brittany's case as well. Maybe HCSO have just a really long processing time for homicide investigations. Because, yeah, even back in 2013, it took half a year to figure out that it was him. Hopefully, her family get some justice. It has taken far too long already. Feel for their family. It's already been about half a year for her. So yeah, I'll leave you with the photo of her, and then this tampering with physical evidence with intent to impair human corpse. How he got downgraded from the murder charge? No idea. So there you go. There's Brittany. Wow, what a sad ending to her life. To wind up in this random apartment. Her family must have been shocked to get that phone call saying, "Hey, you know that sister you have? You know that daughter you have? Well, we found her dead. She'd been dead for 3 days in some random dude's apartment." Very sad story. Laurie, thank you for bringing me that. I appreciate it. Keeping me informed on crazy stories around the USA. All right. Kim says, you would think a dead person wouldn't be good to cuddle with. I don't know if we all want that image in our head. Do you? I don't think we all need that mental image. I don't think they'd be cold. They'd be very tacky. I don't think any of us want to do that. I don't want to cuddle a dead body in bed. No thanks. But apparently this guy apparently does. I'll bring you updates if we get him. I'm going to keep looking at this dude's Facebook, and if I can find anything to do with Brittany Gamble, I will let you know, and then I'll show it to you. But yeah, hopefully her family gets something better. Do you know the bit that's weird to me about her death? That first report that came out where they said she had an abrasion on her face and bruising on her upper body. I wonder if she fell, because the bruising on the face almost is like she hit something on the way down, and then the bruising on the upper body is maybe when she either hit the floor or hit an object. And I wonder if that is what caused those injuries to her body when they found her, because it's a little strange to have that type of bruising, especially across the body up the top, and then onto the face. It's almost like, yeah, a falling motion maybe. Let's have a look. So apparently there's a local reporter, Grizzly's Hood News. Do you know that person? They post a lot about Houston news. I see them quite often when I'm looking up Houston stories. They're very good with what they do. And you might want to keep in contact with them on Facebook if you do like Houston stories, because they are always posting about this type of stuff. Hold on, I'm just checking. They posted a new timeline for Brittany. Okay. So the family didn't discover until news outlets began reporting on her death. 2 days after that, that is when they found those videos of Brittany on the man's Facebook page. Videos of both her alive and after death. I think they're going to be the linchpin here on if any charges will be will be charged. So according to this post, these videos he shot of her, he filmed her body multiple times post-mortem and shared it publicly. He changed her clothes. He repositioned her body repeatedly on an air mattress. He moved the air mattress around the room. He wrapped and unwrapped her deceased body, covering and uncovering her face. He placed a Bible at her feet and a ball of her hair beside it. He wrapped tobacco or drugs while sitting beside her deceased body. He ate and drank in presence of her deceased body. There is a 4+ hour video of him sleeping on the same mattress next to her body. He made statements about her eyes being pushed in, commenting on her condition post-mortem. Gross. I hope the cops really do have those videos. That is brutal. They're saying here that the family were even advised by the funeral home director to not view her body because of the condition she was in. Didn't I tell you that like a few days in Houston would really degrade a body? The fact that they told her family not to look at her after she was brought in, she was very gone, I think. That is not kind. No vexations. So, according to the family, they had a conversation with the detective with the HPD. On numerous occasions, they said about the guy, he has a few screws loose, but there's nothing we can make stick. How many of you think that if you took videos of yourself with a dead body, smoking tobacco or drugs, eating, unwrapping, wrapping, putting Bibles, all those things I mentioned, how many of you expect to be walking free in your community? How many of you? I'd love to know. Do you think if you did that, you'd be like out on the streets free when no one could come and get you? I'd love to know. I'd love to know how many of you think that might be what would happen to you. Because I don't think so. I think for any of us, they would have already had us in handcuffs and probably taken us and charged us with some desecration of a corpse or something like that. Kelly said, dead body in the trunk in your video, no problems nowadays. Facebook's just become way too edgy. Marilyn says, no way. I don't think we'd be allowed in the community. They would have thrown us in jail. So why do they think just because this guy obviously has mental health issues, is obviously a bit, off kilter, why is it okay for him to just be, they're just like, oh, he's fine. He does that. He sleeps with bodies. I don't think that's like a statement we should say about anyone. SPR said, I hope there's a good reason, but maybe it's just bad cops and incompetence. This particular area of Houston has a triple homicide from over a year ago that they've never solved. Remember I bring you the story about the house fire where someone shot and killed a mother, her son, and the son's girlfriend, and then they set the house on fire and burnt it down. And almost 2 years later, they've never found the person. They have video, they have a CCTV, they have a car, they have the person walking to the home. Never solved it. It's never been solved. They're still asking the public for help. So I don't know. We'll see. HCSO and HPD have a very checkered history to do with murder investigations, unfortunately. I think it's because there is so many in the area, they get backlogged and they just, like the family said, she's just a number to them and they just work through their caseloads very slowly. All right. I want to take you to the land down under because I have an update on our hantavirus people. Do you guys remember this last weekend? And there was all this big stuff up with the hantavirus, the Australians. The Australians were supposed to go from Tenerife to Perth and then go into isolation for 3 weeks. Well, that didn't happen. The first plane that they organized to go to Tenerife and pick them up never showed up. It just never showed up. Apparently the government booked it and it just never got there. So they had to organize a second plane. The second plane went from Tenerife to the Netherlands, from the Netherlands to Australia. And then somewhere along the way, they got to refuel the aircraft. Well, they're finally home. They're finally back. They were the last ones to return from the cruise ship almost a week after everyone else. And I'll show you. So I don't think we've heard very many updates regarding whether there's been any more symptoms with any of the other people who have left, the ones in Europe. I know we know about the 2 people in America, but the people from Australia finally made it home. I'm just trying to load this video if I can. Yeah, I'm going to take you to the ABC.
So we've seen the passengers being taken from the airport. What's the latest?
G'day, Ros. Yes, we have. Those 6 passengers landed about 2.5 hours ago at the RAF base, which is about a 9-minute drive from where I'm standing. This is the National Resilience Centre, and this is a quarantine facility that was originally built for COVID. There are hundreds of beds in there. So far, it has not been put to use. In 5 years, it has not been used. Today, it is being used for those 6 passengers. They were tested on the tarmac by Border Force. They've all tested negative. They will now be periodically tested here at the quarantine centre for hantavirus. 3 weeks of quarantine here for them. The virus itself has an incubation period of 42 days. So beyond that, they will go back to their home states of New South Wales and Queensland and monitored there. But the risk is considered fairly low after that 3-week period. In addition to that, Ros, we've just seen in the past 15 minutes, the crew from the plane have arrived as well. So they'll be quarantining here too. They'll be here, though, for 2 weeks, and their quarantine is voluntary here.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit more about the quarantine facility there, Michael?
I certainly can. As I mentioned, hundreds of beds, and it's basically like a big mining camp. If you saw it from the air, it's rows of dongas of portable, transportable accommodation facilities. There's indoor areas, outdoor areas. You would imagine they'd be kept apart from each other, but 3 weeks. I mean, I'm sure they're very, very happy to be back on Australia.
So it wasn't just the people who were on the cruise ship. The people who did the flight to Australia, the nurses and the doctors who looked after the people, they have to do the quarantine for 3 weeks as well. That was one of the problems that Australia had. A lot of the people that they could contact and were like, can you do this flight? You have to go basically out to halfway around the world, pick up these people and come back. And by the time you get back, you then have to go into quarantine for 3 weeks. Apparently, our government was saying that was a very hard sell to try and tell people, like these nurses and doctors that they were contacting. They're all like, 3 weeks, and I have to deal with all these people that have possibly a deadly disease. I don't think I want to do that. So yeah, a lot of people turned down the opportunity to actually do the flight, and it took them multiple tries of contacting different agencies to try and get people who would do it. Kelly said wasn't there a new case, some French guy? Was there? I'll have a look at that in a minute. What was there a French guy? Let's have a look. French and hantavirus. Who was he? They're saying here a critically ill French passenger who contracted hantavirus on the MV Hondias cruise ship is being treated with an artificial lung in a Paris hospital. Her severe case is part of a broader outbreak originating from South America. Is she the one you guys are talking about? Was there a separate one? Must be her. I did hear that she was quite ill. The fact that she's on a iron lung, brutal. That basically pumps blood through an artificial lung. That lady is not well. That lady is very, very unwell. Let me see if there's been any others. So they're saying here, a notable recent cluster has occurred in May of 2026 when an outbreak of the Andes hantavirus on the MV Hondias cruise ship in the Atlantic resulted in over a dozen confirmed and suspected cases. There's an ongoing effort to monitor returning passengers from across the globe. But was there anything in the last 24 hours? I don't see anything. So I know 5 days ago there was that French person Was that the female? Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. We're on the English version of the French website. They said one of them showed symptoms in the repatriation plane. These 5 passengers have been immediately placed in isolation. Is that the one that's on the iron lung? That's terrible. I'm not sure, but if that's the same female that they ended up putting on an iron lung, that is brutal. Let's have a look. Hey, hey Joe, what's up, brother? You said French guy. I heard French fry. I want a French fry. Joe, let's get burgers. I want a burger and fries, man. I'll pass on food item leftover after a hantavirus cruise. Yeah, I don't really want leftover hamburgers from a hantavirus cruise. I'll pass. I think I'm done. Hey, Four Sons Mom, how are you, my friend? How you going? Did I miss her? Apparently, I can't see people in my own chat. Can't see her. I watched a short video of today of a lady who had a guy in a helicopter fly over her property, drop something after they just weird. They're looking for ticks. I hope no one's got ticks. Keep your ticks away from us. Let's have a look. SP1 said we have a ton of ticks here in the Rockies. I don't want any of your. What do you get if you have the ticks? You get Lyme disease. I don't want any Lyme disease. Thanks. It sounds delicious. Lyme disease, like you get the taste of lime in your mouth, but I don't think it works that way. Okay, let's see. All right, we did that. So yeah, that's your update. The Aussies are finally home. Thank God they made it back. And you know, I hope, what I'm hoping is that's it. That's it for the hantavirus. We don't have to talk about it no more. We don't get any conspiracy theories about lockdowns and COVID and it's going to take over the world. No more. Let's hope that is done. I don't want to hear the word hantavirus anymore. No more. Don't scare the population. I think the world is still a little bruised and shaken up from COVID, and they don't want anything that sounds like pandemic. I don't think they want any more pandemics. No one wants that. No one wants to be locked down again. All right. There's another story from Houston. We got a lot of stories out of Texas today. There was a young boy, Noel Rodriguez Alvarez, was identified in a home in Everman, and his mother has been charged with capital murder. A child, 6 years old. That is a young boy named Noel. And you can see here, this is the type of effort they went to. They were like, got the heavy machinery out, they're digging stuff up. There's like they're going to that kind of effort to find human remains. You're in a bit of trouble. You're in a bit of trouble. So let me take you out here and to KHOU, and I'll play the video for all of us. Apparently, I can't pronounce names right. Noel. I wish our thing would work properly. There you go.
For more than 3 years, people have been wondering, where is Noel Rodriguez Alvarez? Today, the medical examiner's office confirmed the remains found in his backyard are Noel. And for those who knew him, it is both relief and heartbreak. For years, this little boy's face lived on billboards, in videos, and in the hearts of a community that wanted him found. Time passed. Then this week, FBI investigators returned to the Everman home where the missing boy Noel Rodriguez Alvarez once lived. The same backyard cadaver dogs searched in 2023. And this time,
they found him.
That the remains discovered at the home on Wisteria Drive in Everman were those of Noel.
Today, the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed Noel's remains were officially identified using the 6-year-old's dental records.
Quiero pensar que eso fue.
For this neighbor who knew Noel and asked us not to identify her, this news hurts, but it also ends years of not knowing.
Nos da cierta tristeza.
She says at the same time we feel sadness.
Sí, es muy difícil,
It truly is difficult because he was a child with disabilities. It hurts because I saw him. She says she never gave up hope that he would be found. Still.
Usted tiene muchas preguntas todavía. You still have a lot of questions.
Yes, I do. Sí, sí las tengo. ¿Qué fue lo que realmente le pasó?
She asks what really happened to Noel. Why did he die? Questions that await his mother, Cindy Rodriguez Singh, who is in jail, charged with capital murder. The DA is working to restore her competency so she can stand trial.
Que si Cindy.
You know, I remember when this little kid went missing a few years ago, and it was all a big thing. There was like search parties, and there was people looking, and they were like, "Oh, he might be in Mexico," and then it sort of died off, and no one really talked about it ever again. And it was one of those cases where you go, "What happened with that? Why did everything just disappear?" And now, well, we know what happened to that little kid. What a horrible resting place for him. If proven to be true, he was there the entire time, basically. Terrible. So they're saying they've charged his mother with capital murder, like you heard in that. They're trying to restore her competency to be able to stand trial. She's been charged with, she's been found incompetent to stand trial right now. And in a Friday statement, the Everman Police Chief Al Brooks said, "I would like to tell him, rest well, little man. We'll take it from here." What a saying from the police chief. What a saying. A neighbor who knew the family and asked not to be identified told WFAA she felt relief knowing his body was found. At the same time, we feel sadness because we hope in the beginning that he would be alive somewhere with a family member. Thank God his body was found, and I hope they'll lay him to rest so he can rest in peace. It truly is difficult because he was a child with disabilities. It hurts because I saw him. How sad. He was reported missing in March of 2023, months after he was last seen in October of 2022. At the time of his disappearance, investigators were falsely told that Noel was living with his biological father in Mexico. So there you go. He was not in Mexico. Sounds like he was there the whole time. So apparently here, newly obtained letters from the mum from jail to a judge offer a glimpse into her state of mind while in custody. One letter reads, "Why am I being placed in a state hospital? I am not a psycho person." I think the court will be the judge of that. "They're treating me very, very bad, and I cried for the pain they're making me go through. Tell us about your son and the pain he went through." She also wrote, "I get threats every day. God knows I'm not a bad person." We'll see. Before one court appearance, she wrote, "It might be the last day of jail tomorrow. God will be with me." They ain't letting you out. What do you think's going to happen? They're just going to be like, "Oh, don't worry about the dead kid. We're just going to let you out, have fun, go back into the community." I don't think that's going to happen. They're saying here, she's awaiting a transfer to a state mental health facility in an effort to regain competency to stand trial. Hopefully that is exactly what happens. So apparently these are the letters here. These are the letters. I don't even know if I can read these. Can we make these bigger somehow? No, not like that. No, not like that either. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Go like that. Go like this. No, don't open it in Adobe. No one wants it to be opened in Adobe. All right, let's go here. I'll take you over here, guys. Let's have a look. I don't know if I can read her crazy writing. Not crazy mentally, just crazy writing. She says, "To the Honorable Judge, hello. My name is Cindy Rodriguez. case number, what her case number is. They said display it later. Okay. I have the whole cell in 71AB, both or all sides of their others, which I'm truly sorry for writing this letter, not explaining, not much to investigators and officers. I am aware. I think she means aware. I'm aware they closed down my CPS case due to this case, a different case number, and I'm really fed up with what they're doing to me day by day. I can barely read her writing. Horror. Honorable judge, they're taking advantage of me, not standing up for myself, but now it's gone too far. I am aware since last night the evil plot they have done to me. I will no longer sit or sleep and let this time go. DM here. I'm here writing to you because I need my case to be renewed. I know that my attorneys are Bob and Eric, but I am writing to you, honorable judge, because you are more powerful than they are, basically. Honorable judge, that's why I'm writing you this letter in regards to. She says she's been something for 8 months, and I've been waiting for my court date to begin. I understand it has, but it's going through very slow. I'm aware of me not passing the competency test. Honorable judge, I only had 1 day/night to study everything, and I believe that is unfair. Sir or madam, I think, I'm truly sorry for not passing that test. I don't know if that makes you crazy or someone that has a bad I don't know. Up the top, she writes quite clearly. She has some struggle with the English language, like she uses the word award instead of the word aware, which that's okay. Some people, they don't have the greatest grasp of the English language. I get that. It may be a second language to them, right? But as we get down the page, right, it just sort of it goes off topic. She starts up here and she's talking about a case, and then she drifts off all through here about randoms, like what's this? I've been aware since last night about the evil plot that they have done to me. Okay. And then she talks about how she hasn't that she could no longer sit or sleep. And then she says she's sorry for not passing the competency test. We have more. What does she say here? She uses the word come in not the right spelling. She says, maybe it's not come. Maybe it's AM. God, her writing's really loose. I am not mentally something. Know the knowledge to pick up on a test right away. I am mentally stable, which in fact I really know what is truly what the investigators and the police officers by what they're doing. I need my case to be heard by you. I also know cellmates are in it for the money and reduced sentences. And then she says, okay. I also know I'm being placed bad thoughts and horrible things in my head. Anyone review the camera, everything that is being done, everyone would be in shock. I am aware the DA is also involved and the CPS. The investigations think they're smart, but everything is heard and people can see in the surveillance footage. From September 24, I was moved to the B side. I'm very awkward, aware. You don't know about anything, Honorable Judge. I am sorry to say, but I also believe that the doctor, the one who tested me, was involved and spoke with the investigators. I know how it works out. I know how it works. A friend helps a friend in need. I know they did all the unlawful things. The best part, they think they're slick by going every day to court in the beginning to close CPS case and doing as well in this case. Honorable Judge, I know when you. Okay. So she keeps writing to the judge all these things saying that basically she believes she is competent, but then talks about how there's like these giant evil acts happening surrounding her. There's a conspiracy that is surrounding her in this facility, and how she believes everyone's working together. Like the investigators are working with the doctors, and the doctors are working with these people, and they're all out to get her. They're all out to basically get her. She's showing some paranoid delusion. I don't know how bad it is, but she's showing delusions. Danny said schizophrenia. It could be schizophrenia or like some sort of break with reality. She's definitely persuasive. It's very hard to read. Her writing, I don't know if it's just me, but I find her writing very difficult to read. Kelly said, yeah, she sounds real sane, Ping. She thinks she is. No one looking for them. Her other children. Let's have a look. She has other children. Okay, let's look up her name. Cindy. So Cindy is the mum. That's who you just heard the letter from, is Cindy, the mum. Okay, Cindy Rodriguez. Okay, missing other children, right? Two siblings. So he has two siblings that they can't find either. Let me try and find out like what's going on with this, because I can't. When you search it, you just see the update for today. So they said 6 siblings who fled to India. In March 2023, Rodriguez Singh, her husband, Noel's stepfather, and 6 of her children boarded a flight to India via Turkey. They fled just 2 days after Texas police conducted a welfare check regarding the missing 6-year-old special needs son, Noel. And they said at the time of their flight, these 6 children raised from 5-month-old twins to an 11-year-old. Noel was intentionally left off the family's passport applications. What are they saying here? After Rodriguez Singh was captured in India by the FBI and local authorities, the surviving children were flown back to the United States. Prosecutors confirmed they are now in the place of family members. So it doesn't sound like these other children are missing. It sounds like that they were able to repatriate them back to the USA, and they have now been placed in the care of other family. That is the latest update I have on the other children. So that's what it says. Yeah. Well, I just told you about it. Kim said she didn't study well enough for the competency exams. I don't know. Do you get to study for competency exams? Wouldn't a competency exam be like a spur of the moment thing? Because you don't want people memorizing the answers or whatever. You want them. I mean, I guess you kind of want them to have a lay of the land before they do it, because then it's unfair. I see both ways of why you shouldn't give them the test in advance. You know, you want a true reading of someone. Missy Motormouse said she had 9. Well, I don't know where the other 3 are. Gail said, we covered this story. They looked at the property as concrete had been poured. Yeah, I'm sure we looked at it before. I remember this story when they first went to India. I remember we did the catch up for it. Let's have a look. If you're in Houston courts competency exam. Let's have a look. What can you do as a competency exam? Okay, they have a thing here with the court here. Let's have a look. So what is the process in Texas? So they're the people that worked on this document. They say the competency to stand trial process is designed to protect the rights of people who do not understand the charges pending against them or are unable to assist in their own defense. In Texas, the prosecution, defense, or trial court can suggest that the person accused of a crime may be incompetent to stand trial, IST. That's what she's been designated. The court can dismiss the charges against the person or pause court proceedings and order a competency evaluation. If, after conducting an informal inquiry, the court determines that evidence exists to support a finding of incompetency, if the court does not dismiss the charges, the person is found IST. The court can order the person to receive competency restoration. That's what she's doing. And they're saying that it is done at an inpatient service, can be done at an outpatient or community-based program, or a jail-based setting. The purpose of this guide is to provide a general guidance and education to judges, lawyers, mental health, and intellectual and development disability providers. All right, so where do we go? We want to know about what. Whoa. The average cost of an incarceration prior to hospital admission and inpatient competency restoration is $250,000. So if you, like her, she has to go through that, it will cost the government $250,000 to restore her competency. Wow. That's a ton of cash. The cost of incarceration and hospitalization can increase and decrease depending on the period between arrest and the issuance of the commitment order, the period between the issuance of the commitment order and the hospital admission, and the length of stay required to restore. Okay. What do you have to do? So you can get an outpatient one, so it's done not in jail. You do it at your home. If you did a Class B misdemeanor, if you did a Class A misdemeanor, or possibility of requesting a 60-day extension. Okay. Principal competency restoration. Access to robust, appropriate, and timely community-based services and support is essential to divert people with mental illness. Okay, no. They don't really tell us what they do when they actually go through this CR. The CR system, yeah, we don't want to know that. We want to know, like, what do they actually do for you? Okay. There we go. Okay, this is what they might put her through. So this is the tree that they sort of have to look at for her. Violent or crimogenic crimes, moderately high or low. Clinical acuity, low. And then it's like you can do these different inpatient CR, so that's how they find and get you there. That's how they found unlikely to restore or previously non-restorable. Really? You can actually be called non-restorable. So if they put you through the CR and then you come back as like it didn't work. They basically call you unlikely to restore or previously non-restorable. And they give you a sub-diagnosis and substance offense possibility. Interesting. So that's what she's going to have to go through. A lot of this type of thing. It is the lengths of it is pretty brutal. Wish they had more about like what they actually did in the sessions. Like, what do they actually do? But it doesn't look like they do have anything like that. It's more about the process for getting you there. You can stay incompetent for forever. That's not cool. It's by Dallas. I think it's the same thing, guys. I don't think they're going to be changing their process, right? It's Texas. Let's see. Kaliza, I wonder, was she suffering from mental issues when her son disappeared? Not an excuse, but so many of these tragedies seem like they might be prevented by better social programs to support parents. Maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's interesting that they have have this process that they go through. And I mean, we looked at some of her writing. It's it's interesting because for a little bit she seems lucid. Like she's asking the judge for help. Hey, I want to get my case going. And then she's all like, but all the evil people are planning around me and conspiring. Like it just switches like in a word. She's all of a sudden she's now talking about an evil plot to, hurt her or take her case away or keep her incompetent. So yeah, she sort of wavers from one side to the other. Khalees said, I hope we can work with families to help prevent things like this. Help prevent a child being found under concrete? I hope so too. I don't want any children being found under concrete. That would be terrible. Let's see. Let me see what else we can find about Sydney. Sydney? Cindy. What? Too many. Don't know why that just started playing. It just started harassing me with multiple videos playing at the same time. Uh, okay. Ah, Everman police said multiple human remains detection canines also alerted officials to topsoil found underneath a freshly built patio area. That was back in 2023. So they've been looking at this area for a while. Let's have a look. All right, let me take you to another one. Sad story, but I'm glad they finally found the boy, though. It's taken a long time. All right, I'm going to take you out to Fox 4 in DFW.
It was confirmed that remains found yesterday in Everman do, in fact, belong to missing 6-year-old Noel Rodriguez Alvarez. Noel was last seen in 2022, but investigators never knew for certain what had happened to him. Fox 4's Amelia Jones has been following this case for us. She's in Everman again tonight or nearby with the latest, including newly discovered letters Noel's mother wrote to the judge overseeing the case. Amelia.
Right, Steve. While this positive identification brings answers to the question of where was little Noel, we still don't know what happened to him or how he died. The remains of the special needs 6-year-old were found in the backyard of a home on Wisteria Drive, where Noel once lived with his mom, stepfather, and 6 of his 9 siblings. The FBI, the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, Everman Police, and the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office excavated the area in a multi-day search this week. Meanwhile, new letters we got a hold of written by his mom, Cindy Rodriguez Singh, don't reveal any information about what happened to her son, but they do give insight into her mind. The multiple letters are dated in April, written to the judge presiding over the case. This is around the time that she was given the competency evaluation, which the psychologist ruled she was found to be incompetent. Her handwriting is difficult to read, and she does ramble at times. Excerpts from the letters include repeated phrases such as, God knows I'm not a bad person. I'm not crazy. She writes to the judge about the competency evaluation, saying, I only had one day/night to study everything. I believe that is unfair. Sir/or madam,
I'm not going to make you listen to that because we already read it. So, hey, Danny, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah. Jill said so many babies fall through the cracks. It seems like this one, at least, they caught on pretty quick. I think what took a while was actually trying to track down exactly what had happened. And that is what has taken the better part of what 2 years? 2 years to try and figure out what the hell happened here. And at least now they've finally found him. They can take him to be laid to rest properly. So it looks like they had like a little tiny coroner's van. Did you guys? I think that's what that is. I've never seen like such a little tiny one, like a white one like that. But there is what I'm guessing is what took away his body to the medical examiner. Hopefully, we'll find out what has happened. But they identified him via dental records. Hopefully, we'll get a manner of death, a cause of death. Pretty sure they think it's homicide, but Gail said the old man said they built it for him before they left. I bet they did. Gail said that steps at the door where the dogs hid at. Yeah, it's pretty obvious what happened. Anytime someone's child goes missing and they suddenly have all this new concrete everywhere, like the red flags just go through the roof. They're all like, "That's where he is. Go look there." Missy said her own family turned her in to begin with. That's good. Isn't that nice that we have good people who actually, even though it's their own family, they're like, "Hey, something's wrong." Gail said, "Looks like a bit like a Ford S-Max." I don't know what kind of car that is, but it's probably converted. It probably has a flat panel or something in the back here. You probably maybe use it for small people, for human remains, because it's not a big one. It's not one of those large ones, and it's not the van. Sometimes they have that van that comes out. Yeah, sad update. Not the type of thing we like to hear about, but it's nice to have an ending. It's nice to finally like not be wondering, where is this kid? How has he been missing for over 2 years? That's always a good thing, I guess. All right, what else do we have? I know we have one more story. Where is my other story? Sometimes I lose all my links. We open too many tabs and then I'm like, where is everything? Oh, brutal. If you're in Perth, where we told you that the people from the hantavirus went, apparently a swimmer in his 30s is fighting for life after being mauled by a monster 5 meter great white shark at a popular holiday island. That guy's having a bad day, a really bad day. When you get attacked by a giant 5 meter shark, you are not having a good day. How did he get attacked? The incident happened near Rottnest Island near Perth about 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. That's about 7 hours ago now. The man, aged in his 30s, is in a critical condition. A rescue helicopter arrived at the island 19 kilometers off the coast of Fremantle to evacuate the man to hospital on the mainland. The fact he survived and actually got to the hospital is a miracle. Half the time when someone gets attacked by a shark, they either die in the water or they die on the way to hospital from just catastrophic injuries and blood loss. He's very lucky. It doesn't tell us what injuries he has, just that he's in critical condition in hospital. If you want to know where that is, Perth is here. So it's on the west coast of Australia. Rottnest Island is off the coast of Perth. So he was swimming around this island, and an absolute monster of a great white chomped him. Took a little bit of a sneaky bite, came in and decided to have a go. And now this dude is hope he survives. I really do hope he is okay. I don't know what kind of injuries he might have, but none of them are good. Anytime you get attacked by a shark, none of them are good for you. Let's have a look. I have another story, if I can find it. So how you guys going? How's your Friday night and early Saturday morning? Are you having a good day? Do you have a snack? Do you have a drink? Did you go get a coffee at 4 a.m. in the morning? You shouldn't do that. Hopefully that's not what you did. We don't need anyone staying up until 7 a.m. in the morning. Oh, yes. This is a story that I want to do because I find this is not a crime story as such, although it might be. There might be charges here. There might be charges, and I don't know if you guys have heard about this one. So I'm gonna try take you. I'm hoping there's a story I can take you to so you guys can, because half this stuff I'm not going to be able to pronounce. um. Oh, come on. All right, fine, fine. We'll have to use the link. Here we go. Have you guys heard about this? 5 tourists, including a professor and her daughter, died during vacation scuba dive to remote ocean cave. And now there's concerns about what actually happened here. Was this some sort of group murder or negligence or something? According to the research I did earlier today, they were at Vevu Atoll. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. And according to the information I have, you're not supposed to dive in this thing. It is very, very deep. And most of the accreditation for deep diving only allows you to go halfway down. It's like a giant hole in the ocean. And these people decided to go all the way down. And they somehow all wound up dead. The authorities who are investigating it are confused. They don't know why people who are supposed to be a professor that know tons about, diving and what you can and can't do down there have decided to go on this trip. And I'll tell you, the decision to reach the cave has been questioned by experts with 3 key elements raised in their concerns. Firstly, a weather warning was in place at the time. High winds were whipping up waves, which in turn could dislodge sand and dirt under the water and obscure visibility. Second, the tourists are not meant to dive below 30 meters. The cave is double that below the surface. And finally, the cave is notoriously difficult to reach. According to the Maldives government, they said that the cave is so deep that even divers with the best equipment do not approach it. They're saying how there will be a separate investigation into how these divers went below the permitted depth, but they're trying to investigate and focus on search and rescue right now. They're saying one of the victims is a 51-year-old named Monica, a respected marine biologist, TV personality, and professor of tropical marine ecology and underwater science at the University of Genoa. Her 22-year-old daughter, Georgia, also died. And then there was another person called Carlo. That is the husband of Monica. And they're saying so they wiped out like a whole family. And then they're saying here, sorry, the husband Carlo didn't die. They're saying here that he is speaking to people online. And he said that my wife is among the best divers on earth and she wouldn't have put anyone in the group in danger. Okay, then what actually happened? If your wife is such a well-respected diver, why would she go to here's Monica and here's her daughter. Why would they go to this location that is known by everyone that you can't go here and that the timing of the trip was not ideal? You're getting all these strong currents, a lot of dust being whipped up, so your visibility is not good. When you're diving, you want visibility. Let me see if I can find a photo of the actual atoll and see if we can have a look at it. Let's have a look. What does it look like? So they're wondering now, like, did something else go wrong? What actually happened here where, these people perished when they're supposed to be like the best people in the world and they're the best divers? How did they not know that you can't, go into this depth? Yeah, I don't have a very good photo of it, but apparently this is it. So I'm guessing they would have tried to be diving in this middle section right here. At least I think so. It probably plunges quite deep down into the ocean. And it's like a giant hole in the ocean, like a reverse volcano in a way. Here, let me see if we got. So this is sort of like the big story going on right now. Everyone's asking, was it something more sinister going on when these sort of rules for diving this area are more than well known? More than well known. The depth of the location is already charted, like it's already in all the diving guides, and so this information is not a surprise to anyone. Yeah, so let me try and find. So the Daily Mail did a thing on it that gives us a bit of visual. So yeah, they said 5 divers enter the water from the Duke of York boat on the morning of May 14 near the island nearby. Captain raises alarm after 1 hours and 45 minutes when they do not resurface. Rescuers recover one body in the cave. Divers enter the caves at depths of 50 meters and they have to travel through these caves. They say one of the 5 may have become stuck in coral or wedged between rocks, causing others to panic as they tried to free them. They say the group may have fallen victim to oxygen toxicity, which occurs when high oxygen pressure during deep dives become toxic to the brain, potentially causing sudden confusion, seizures, or loss of consciousness underwater. There is a gas mix that they can use. So there's 2 types of diving. There's diving on oxygen, which is not, you can't go very deep. And then depending on how far you go, there's different mixes of gases that you can use to get deeper and deeper in the water. Don't know what type of tank they had, but a little strange that they suddenly went down into this atoll, went through this cave area, and somehow all died. Like none of them came back up. So what went wrong that was so catastrophic that not one of them came up and raised the alarm for anyone? I'd love to know. Yes, nitrogen. That's it. So you can do a mix. I know that. And it allows you to dive a bit deeper. Gayla said, I seen it on the news site from directly above. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's very pretty. Jill said, check for insurance policies. It's just a little strange. Like, I've seen some of these diving tragedies before, and it's normally like one diver dies and the other one makes it back up. I've not seen many where the entire group pass away. You know, you're looking at something severely wrong happening for that to have occurred. So, yeah, this story is doing the rounds right now with everyone. And they're saying here, one of the bodies that were found by the search operation was, they're saying they looked for the bodies at 6:13 p.m. local time. They said they found a body in a cave at a depth of almost 200 feet. 200 feet in depth. And they said the remaining 4 divers are believed to have been inside the cave, which was about 200 feet long. Additional divers and special equipment have been sent out to the area, as this is a very dangerous, high-risk operation. So they haven't even removed the bodies yet. They can't get down there properly. That's what they're saying, that they've not been able to get enough equipment and people to actually get down there and rescue, well, not rescue, but bring the bodies back up to the surface. Crazy. I'll let you know if we get more on this, but I know this one was very popular on all the platforms this morning. Everyone was talking about how do 5 people not come back up from that cave? And the second question is, why were they there in the first place? Yeah, 5 people have died on a scuba diving excursion in the Maldives. The 5 people were all Italian nationals and were scuba diving off the Vavu Atoll. The divers are reported to have died while attempting to explore caves at a depth of around 50 meters or 200 feet. The reconstruction of the incident is still underway by Maldivian authorities, and they said the Maldives Defense Force are stating that they only have one body that was found in a cave at about 60 meters below the ocean's surface, and the other 4, they're waiting for specialized equipment to come in. Crazy. Here's a photo of some of the people they've already identified that have died in this diving mishap. But let's see. Khalees said, I hope authorities are able to question their friends and families about the whole plan. It seems a bit weird. Like, if divers already know that you can't dive here past a certain restriction, why were they so deep then? And what happened there? If this person is a professor at a university, is one of the foremost experts on diving, Maldives, well, then maybe that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not. I will pronounce it wrong for the rest of my life. Jules said they had no business. I agree with you. Let's see. I hope authorities are able to question. Yeah, I hope so too. Jules said on these type of dives, it's easy to get disorientated and go. There was one here a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if any of you heard about it, but there was a dive in South Australia. In Australia, there's like a hole in the ground, and then people go diving in it. And when you go in the hole, it then opens up to like this giant diving area. It's really weird. There's a whole heap of them in southern Australia. But this group went down, and I think one of them died. And yeah, anyway, I'll show it to you. Yeah, here. This was back in, it was only in December. Yeah, it was a really big deal. What one was it? There's a few different ones there. Tank Cave. It's called Tank Cave, and if I look up Tank Cave, I'll show you how you enter it. Tank Cave SA. Do they have the photo of the? Yeah, here. Is it this one? Okay, I don't know if it's this one, but this is a no, 10K. Yeah. Look, this is like some of the ones where you enter. I'll show you what it looks like if you haven't seen these before. It literally looks like a hole in the ground with a lid. And you have to go through like down this ladder, and then it opens up into like a whole diving site. Like sort of like this. And these are all around southern Australia. So you go through that hole, you eventually get down into the water, and it opens up into these sort of underwater chambers that are full of fresh water. And people dive through them. But a guy got caught last year in December, and he died down there. They're not sure 100% why he died, whether he ran out of oxygen or something, like had a heart attack. But yeah. Never. I'm going to say them wrong forever. Kelly said, I like Ping's wrong pronunciations. They sound pretty. That's right. They sound better. They have less ease in them. Khalees said, one in the group was an experienced diving instructor, especially the one we just were looking at. That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? I'd love to know what happened. There's something wrong when you have people that go diving in these ones that I'm showing. Here's another one, by the way. Look at this one. This one you have to go downstairs and into some sort of rock island to get into the water. But these are all over southern Australia. If people can dive in these and most of the time make it back, what happened here in the ocean? Like, this is a little bit different compared to freshwater cave diving. This is saltwater, very, very, very deep depth cave diving. So I'm not sure, but it doesn't sound good. All right, you Maldives. It sounds like someone you're like, what was that guy doing? God, he was such a Maldive. We had to take him to court. He he's a Maldivian. Uh, all right, let me have a look. Can we get a better look at that cave? The one that they went to, the one that the 5 people died. It's in the Bay of Bengal between Myanmar and India. I don't know if we can. Let's look at the atoll again. So it must have some very deep sections within this area. Here's a view of the entire section of it. I don't think we can look at the caves though, unfortunately. So they must have been diving in some of the, I don't know which bits are the really super deep ones, but there must be some sections that just drop. Whether it's the ones in the center or not, I don't know. But it's a very cool looking place. Almost looks very Martian with the way it's laid out. Yeah. What happened to them? You know, if you think about it, these people attempted this dive, and the government's all like, whoa, we have to bring in like specialist people with really special equipment, and we ain't going down there till tomorrow. Like they were just not having it. So that should tell you how serious of a dive that was, that the government's even like, nah, we ain't going. We're not doing it. Kelly said, I like that crazy people do stuff and post it online or on YouTube channels I can watch safely from home. So you like those ones where everyone's like claustrophobic and like when they crawl through those caves and things, they drive my anxiety through the roof. I get claustrophobic just watching them. All the people that climb to buildings or whatever, they go really high in the buildings and then they look down. I get like vertigo from my computer. It's it's brutal. Warner still said we have so many places and things named by Native Americans. It makes my ear crazy to hear them mispronounced. You grew up in the islands? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Kelly said my best friend goes and does a lot of traveling and likes the different and sometimes dangerous stuff. Yeah. Jill said they didn't have the right equipment or hyperbolic chamber. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I've seen that they should have. Wait. Can you dive with the hyperbolic chamber, or do you have the hyperbolic chamber on the board of the boat so you don't get the bends? Is that what that does? I thought the hyperbaric. I know one of them can get you out of the bends if you come up too fast. It takes the gas out of your bloodstream. Yes, yeah. So yeah, it's the one that when you get the bends, when you get the gas in your bloodstream, they put you in there, and it over a lot of time, it can take it out of your blood. Oh, you grew up in Washington State, not the island. Okay, hyperbaric. Yeah, they're the ones that help you with the bends if you've gone diving and you came up too quickly. You know, there was a story a couple of years ago. I'll tell you this since we're talking about this diving story. A guy was diving in South Australia. We've mentioned that name a couple of times tonight. He was diving in South Australia and he went down really, really deep. He was diving for abalone or scallops. I can't remember which one, maybe both. And he was down there and he was getting the seafood. And then he turned a corner, and what was waiting there in the water? A giant great white shark. Just massive, like one of those just giant ones you see on like the documentaries. And he just shot straight up. He got away from it a little bit and then just shot straight up to the surface. He ended up getting the bends, and they had to fly him to a hospital to get treatment because, well, he came up in like 30 seconds instead of gradually making his way up level by level. He just shot straight to the surface. I mean, I don't blame him. If I came face to face with a giant great white on the bottom of the ocean, I might think about it too. Carlisa said if you get stuck, the person in front can't get out either. Do you reckon that's what happened to these people? That they went through a cave with a restriction, someone got stuck or died, and then the people went to go the other way and come back out, and they couldn't get out. Maybe that's what happened. Then why did they find one of them on the outside of the cave? Maybe a part of them got stuck in another cave section, but there was one on the other side of the person, and then they tried to raise the alarm and died? It's all a little weird. I don't know why they found one just outside of the cave. Ran out of oxygen, maybe? I mean, if you're in a panic situation and you're breathing like really fast, maybe you would go through your tank a lot quicker. It's all a bit strange. It's all a bit weird. Montana said, I'd have just had a heart attack right there with the great white shark. Yeah, that guy ended up having to go into a hyperbaric chamber to get rid of all the gas in his blood. But I mean, I don't blame him for going straight to the surface. You'd want to get away from that bloody shark as quickly as possible. Let's have another look. Is there any dive maps of the site? Because sometimes you get these maps that you can look at. Let's have a look. Dive map. I just want to see if there's any like tight restrictions on the it doesn't look like they have any internal dive maps at all. Sometimes you get these ones that are like a face view of it. I mean, a slice of it, and it shows you all the way through, and then it shows you like constriction, opening. It gets smaller here. There's silt on the bottom, that type of thing. But I don't. Oh yeah, they do have something, but I don't think we know which one they were diving on. There's a bunch of different diving sites here. I don't think that we know which one. Did they give us the actual like the dive site? I don't think they gave us the specific dive location, just the area of where it happened. Let's have a look. I'll check one more source, and we'll see if we can find a diving area. No, I don't see one. I don't see one, but we can probably show you an example of what it could look like. If I can get back to my maps, let's have a look. Apparently, we just have too many tabs open. I'm having to go through them one by one to find. Yeah. So let's go. Oh, let's take you to one. That's terrible. Doesn't even show you the way through. And they're not very good. I've seen way better maps than this. So these are not very good. But it sort of shows you the cave, and it says it has a sandy slope as you come through. And it's got a 2 meter width of it. And in some places, after you get past the sandy slope, it opens up to 5 meters maybe. And then it does open up into, does it say 10 meter? So it has a 10 meter opening at some point. So yeah, these are dive maps. They're not very good ones. They're pretty basic. Pretty basic dive chart. Doesn't mean bad dive. Well, it's sort of like when you get malnutrition, you get a mal dive, and then like, yeah, that's what happened here. Jules said they wouldn't be able to see if the area was bad, especially with the high winds they were talking about. Again, a lot of questions to be answered. Why dive on a day that doesn't have good conditions? Why were they going down so deep without the correct equipment? And what made them do that? Like, why were they going down without, making these good decisions, especially for someone who is a professor and is a world-renowned expert on diving. So we'll find out. I brought it to you because I was like, it's not often we hear of such a large group of people who have died trying to do something like this. Let's see. Yeah, weather warning was in place at the time, high winds. Tourists are not meant to dive below 30 meters, and the cave itself is notoriously difficult to reach, and some of the depths are just ridiculously deep. All right. I think we're done. I've had a good night with you all. It's been a 2 hours, long show tonight, guys. 2 hours. Jill said smells fishy. We're gonna have to keep an eye on it. I just don't see any local coverage of it. I'll check one more time to see if we can get anything good. I don't see anything from like our channels, like anything like from the Western countries. I don't see anything from like, Australia or America or the UK. I just 5 Italian divers have died. Let me try one other try of this. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna take you to the NBC.
Crews in the Maldives are searching for the bodies of Italian tourists who died while scuba diving in a cave there. Italy's foreign minister says the group of 5 died while exploring this area more than 160 feet underwater. Rescuers have already recovered one of the bodies. The search for the others has been temporarily suspended due to bad weather. The big mystery is how and why this happened on what should have been a routine excursion. NBC's Raf Sanchez has more.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, a real tragedy at sea out in the Maldives. Here's what we know. 5 Italian tourists were killed in this scuba diving accident. That's according to the Italian Foreign Ministry. They were exploring a set of caves about 165 feet underneath the surface of the water. It's not clear exactly what went wrong, but it seems like they weren't able to find their way out of the caves, get back to the surface. If you know anything about scuba diving, you know that that is one of the more dangerous activities you can take under the water. A major effort underway to try to recover the bodies from those caves going on in the Maldives. Now,
I think they actually showed us the direct location here of where they were diving. It's hard to see with the. I'll turn off the subtitles. There we go. Right here. Right there, apparently. So I'm not sure what's down here except for apparently caves. But it was right in this location. It's not one of the bookmarked. It's not one of the bookmarked dives, although they're saying here if this one's in yellow, Miyaru can do. Okay, do we have the map for that one? I might. That was one of the ones that we just looked at. That was weird. We guessed it. It's not a great map though. Okay, I think this is more like not the type of dive maps that we normally use, which are of the other orientation. Like when you get a slice of the caves and you can see like around the different areas and how far they go. It's more like a spider chart. This one is, I think, from a top-down view, obviously. It doesn't show us any of the caves, unfortunately. But it does show you how deep some of these areas get. Apparently between here, 33 meters. What's 33 meters in feet? 33 meters in feet. So it's 100 feet down. 100 feet down, at least in that part of it. So yeah, like they were saying on the news, it gets quite deep very quickly in some of these ridges. Some of these ridges that are next to the area. So we'll see. We'll see. It is a bit weird. I would love to know again why to a lot of questions, and I don't think we're going to get them because apparently the people who made the decisions are no longer alive. They're not here anymore. They are in the cave waiting to be rescued, apparently. So there you go. I'll bring you some more information on this tomorrow. I'll bring you some more tomorrow when I find out some updates about whether this specialist diving team has come in, been able to rescue them, or are they still waiting? What is a can do? Miyaru can do. Is it just a name? I'm not sure. Let's check it out. Miyaru can do. I'm not sure. Okay, so in the I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, but it's a regional dialect of Philippines, maybe. Can do means allegedly, reportedly, or they say. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what it says. Here. In Maldivian, it means ocean channel. There we go, because we're in the Maldives, as you guys like. I reckon my pronunciation's way better. But in your double E version, it means ocean channel. Cool. That makes sense. And apparently the Miyaru can do translates to shark channel. So maybe in that area, in the channel, there's a lot of sharks, apparently, a ton of sharks. So a ton of crazy sharks out there, apparently. You got to be brave to explore. You do, you do. All right. Hey, I love you all. And hey, thank you to all the new subscribers. I appreciate it. If you stuck around this long, you are a legend. And it was a long show, 2 hours long. I appreciate it. I'm glad we finally hit over that 2,000 subscriber count. Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to bring you these stories each night. And if you think this is all we do, this is not all we do. This is sort of what we do on our off time. We go through and troll through different stories, but we often have sections where we go through trials as well, and everything gets a little serious, and we lock everything down, and it gets all a little spooky. All right, I will. Hey, oh wait, hold on. I think my phone buzzed earlier. Hold on, guys. Let me say thank you to people. Who's emailing me? All right. Hey, I want to thank my friend Sean. Sean, thank you very much. I appreciate the donation. It's very, very kind. Hey, Lindy, I didn't see you there. Hey, my friend, how are you? High five. Were you hiding? Were you hiding? You're like an owl. She is like an owl. Lindy might be an actual human embodiment of an owl. She just hides, sitting on a ledge, and then at the last minute she ducks in. So that's what she did tonight. Good. Hey, good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Sneaking around. All right. Hey, I love you all. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. I'll be back tomorrow at some point, and we'll do another late show. Good night, everyone. Bye.